In the House, we have a very good shot. The House bill passed 220 to 215. They don't pay attention to that. That's a phony number. If Nancy Pelosi needed 230 votes, she would have gotten 240 votes. She would have gotten 250 votes. She would have gotten. She just knew what poison this vote was. So she went to the conservative Democrats and she said, you, and you vote against the bill because you're in marginal districts, and I want you to come back here and I want you to vote for me, the speaker. The most important vote you can have. I don't care what the rest of your votes are. I want you to be speaker, I can get all this other stuff through. And then these guys go back to the district and say, don't blame me, I voted against the Obama healthcare program. Even though if their votes were needed, they would have been there in a minute. But now, after Scott Brown, and I hope after Ed Lynch, everybody is going to understand that it's absolute death to vote for this bill. So those 38 Democrats probably are going to continue to vote against it. The question is, there are about 30 other Democrats, including Alan Grayson of Orlando. And those guys voted for the bill, but they're marginal members. They could be defeated. And they're going to be scared to death when this second vote comes up, because they're watching the funeral train of all of the Democrats who've gotten killed by voting for this bill. And there is a very good chance that we could peel off 5 or 10 or 15 or 20 of them and kill this piece of legislation. On my website, dickmorris.com, please sign up. You'll get my columns and emails and information and all that. I promise you, no by accident. And on that I list the 30 congressmen who were up for grabs on that, who are the swing votes, who voted for it last time, and we now have to get them to vote against it. And there's a group called the League of American Voters that is on my website. And we have advertisements in all 30 of these districts. And the ads say, Congressman Alan Grayson voted in favor of Obama's health care proposal last year, in favor of $500 billion of Medicare cuts, in favor of health care rationing, in favor of big premium increases. But now they want Alan Grayson to be the crucial vote in passing it again in the House of Representatives. Call Alan Grayson, here's his number, and tell him not to vote for Obamacare. And we're going to run that ad constantly in all of these folks' districts. We need financial support to do so. So we've raised about $400,000 so far. We're trying to come up with $1 million. So please go to dickmorris.com. On the left side, you can actually see the ad. And then please give us the funds to do that. And call these congressmen yourself. They're listed, their stuff is all on the list. At least call Grayson, because if you live in Florida, he's going to pay attention to that phone call. But look, the most important thing you do this year may be voting in the election in November. The single biggest thing you do all year could be that, because we have got to stop this guy's agenda before he absolutely, totally destroys this country. Thank you. The question is about Iran. First of all, I am very fierce in condemning Bush and the Obama administration for their total inactivity in dealing with the situation in Iran. We could stop the Iranian nuclear program overnight, by one simple measure, a measure that has been endorsed by both houses of Congress just last month, that Obama will not impose. While Iran is sitting on the second largest reserves of oil and gas in the world, it does not have the refining capacity. The reason it doesn't is because in the 90s, the U.S. cut off financing to Iran, and it was unable to build the refineries it needs. So it imports 40% of its gasoline. We could stop that. We could absolutely block it, either by persuading Dubai, where the refineries are located, to stop it, or if necessary, by putting warships in the Persian Gulf and stopping the flow of gasoline. Now, my old close friend, Hillary Clinton, has announced that, piously I might add, that she's going to use these sanctions to punish the Revolutionary Guard in Iran, but will not hurt the average Iranian in the street, because they're suffering under the yoke of this oppressive regime, and sanctions that would hurt the average person are unconscionable. What that means is she's not going to do it. And if she doesn't do it, none of these other sanctions will have the remotest effect on Iran. Now, if Washington doesn't act, Israel will. One of my clients who had omitted, he probably didn't know about it, is Netanyahu in Israel. And he is not going to sit back and permit Iran to develop nuclear weapons. The problem is that for Israel to attack, it will have to lose, potentially, half to two-thirds of its air force. Literally, they will be sitting ducks as they enter the Iranian airspace. And they probably can destroy about enough nuclear material so that it's 2 or 3 years delaying before Iran gets the bomb. But the question is, will the United States make good on its equipment losses? Or will Israel be virtually naked in the face of the Syrian Air Force if they do this attack? And those are the questions that we now need to address, and the pressure we now need to bring. Have no illusion. If Iran gets this bomb, they're going to use it on Israel, and 6 million Jews will die. One bomb in Tel Aviv kills 6 million Jews. And if that figure jogs your memory bank about another time that 6 million Jews were killed, ridiculous? You want to move to Tel Aviv and take the shot? I'll pay for your ticket. It is absolutely crucial that the United States move aggressively to stop this, and we can do it easily by cutting off those gasoline supplies. Yeah. Well, the problem with a real estate hedge on inflation is that interest rates are going to go up, which means it's totally non-liquid. Now, it is true that over the long term, your real estate will keep up with inflation. But you can't get your money out in the interim, and you'll be taking a bath in between that, because with high rates, property values can't go up because you can't sell them. And we're going to be taking the rate increase in the net. The only reason rates are this low is because they're buying mortgage-backed securities and pumping $800 billion of additional money into the system. And now that they're pumping a little less, you've seen in the last month or two how new home construction is dropping, and you're getting a real change in that. So the hedge that you need is probably something that's more liquid, if that's something that you need. By the way, I just want to comment on something Pat was talking about the inheritance tax. I do not care whether the 2% of Americans who have estates of more than $3.5 million have to pay 45% of their inheritance in taxes to the federal government. They don't deserve my sympathy, and I do not weep for them. But I am very interested, passionately interested, that those rich people put their money back into their business, creating jobs, rather than just buying gold or yachts to remain liquid. And if you're worth $10 million and you die, and you're going to die, and there's a $3.5 million exemption, you're going to have to pay 45% of $6.5 million to the government, your relative heirs will, on your death, which means somebody's got to come up with $3 million in a hurry. Now, if that money's invested in your business, creating jobs, you can't come up with $3 million in a hurry. You have to sell your whole business. You'll go destroy the whole value. Or if it's tied up in real estate or in farmland or other investments. But if it's in gold, who cares? You just go and you unload it, or stocks, or yachts, or whatever. So it is crucial to the national interest that rich people plow their money back into the business. 75% of all capital in the United States is an intergovernmental transfer that happens on debt.